Roy Moore is still fighting the election in Alabama, and he is asking for money from his supporters. That's awesome. Now, in a Facebook post, the U.S. Senate candidate, or unsuccessful U.S. Senate candidate, said that he is running out of money thanks to his attorneys, and is talking about how his resources have been depleted, and he now needs your money because he's struggling to make ends meet. Cue the world's smallest violin for Mr. Roy Moore. In the post, he says, I have lawyers who want to help, but they are not without cost. And besides their fees, legal expenses could run over $100,000. I've had to establish a legal defense fund. Anything you give will be appreciated. Now, you might be wondering why he's raising a legal defense fund. It's because he is being sued by Lee Korfman. Now, Lee Korfman was the 14-year-old girl that Roy Moore had allegedly fondled when she was, like I said, 14 years old, and he was 30 years old. And afterwards, of course, Roy Moore went out there and talked about how, nope, this is all lies, this is all terrible, she's a terrible person, everything that she says is fake, she's a Democratic plant, despite the fact that she's a registered Republican. Basically, he went on to smear her. And now she's like, oh yeah, I'm not going to take that, I'm going to sue your ass. And so she's suing for about, well, I don't know what she's suing for, actually. But he is aiming to raise about $250,000 in order to fight this defamation lawsuit by Lee Korfman. Now, she says in her lawsuit, all these statements by Mr. Moore are defamatory. Mr. Moore sexually abused Ms. Korfman in 1979 when she was 14, and he was in his early 30s. And Mr. Moore's denials of these facts are false, and his characterizations of Ms. Korfman and her motivations are untrue. So, look, that mischaracterization, of course, involved her being irresponsible, somebody who's not a good person, who's suing for basically fame and most importantly, in order to get a payoff. So, and look, one of the reasons that she did not come out with this information earlier, because that's always the question that's asked, is why didn't you come out with it earlier when you were younger? Well, number one, nobody would believe her because he was well known for this in the community, for going after young women. That's true. But nonetheless, a lot of victims are very scared to speak up because there are people with power. And at that point, Roy Moore had a lot of power in that area. So that's one reason why she didn't speak up. The other is, of course, yes, she does have a little bit of a checkered past. At the same time, there are so many allegations against Roy Moore that it's very, very hard to discount all of them. Anyway, now, in an email to supporters in late January, Moore explained how his Senate run, plus these legal fees, have left him with, quote, very minimal resources, and his recent call for donations drew on the touchstones of his campaign, going after the establishment and appealing to Jesus. Now, let me read you some of that email, because this is awesome. The liberal media, in association with some who want to destroy our country, do not want my influence in the 2018 elections, and are doing everything that they can to stop me. So who are those people that want to destroy our country, destroy America? It's the gays. Quote, gays, lesbians, and transgenders have joined forces with those who believe in abortion, sodomy, and destruction of all that we hold dear. Unless we stand together, we will lose our country. Oh, see, it's the sodomites problem. So they're the ones that went and created this issue. They're the ones who are attacking me. Oh my God, dude. Seriously. The gays, lesbians, and transgenders, oh my. They're out to go get Roy Moore. Oh. And he says, my resources have been depleted, and I have struggled to make ends meet, but I have not lost my faith in our God, who was our true source of strength, and will never leave or forsake us. Well, dude, your resources are depleted. It would seem to me that God, if he exists, has abandoned you. I mean, you're not doing very well. You are depleted. You are struggling to make ends meet. That is not the hallmarks of somebody who seems to be protected by the Almighty God. I'm just saying. Maybe he's got the whole God thing wrong. Maybe God's like, no, dude, I'm on the side of the transgenders and the gays here. I'm on the side of the sodomites. And you are not. Therefore, I am against you. Ridiculous, man. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.